Last year, I said that revisiting the conventions of the Zelda series would be our theme for the new Zelda game for Wii U. However, before I get into that, let me talk about something that I needed to help to realize this ambition. In fact, it's something that we've wanted to do for a long time in the Legend of Zelda series, and so development began with this as our focus. In the earlier releases of the Legend of Zelda games, players got to explore a wide area, scrolling up, down, left, and right. However, after the game transitioned to 3D and the hardware continued to evolve, it became harder to create that feel of being in a vast world. For example, in Wind Waker, we used various techniques to create a wide world where you could freely explore many isolated islands. But it was very hard to create one large world where everything felt connected. We had to design small, bounded areas with a defined entrance and exit. And putting them all together made it feel like you were playing in a large world. But you still couldn't cut through the boundaries wherever you liked to explore that world. Today, I'd like to talk to everyone about the latest Zelda game for Wii U. But first, please take a look at how the game looks on screen. This is the new world of Zelda. It's quite a vast world, isn't it? You can even reach those mountains in the distance if you walk far enough. We couldn't create such a wide world like this in the past. As far as what you can do with such a vast field to explore, as soon as those boundaries are removed, it means you can enter any area from any direction. So the puzzle solving in this game begins the moment the player starts to think about where they want to go, how they will get there, and what they will do when they arrive. This is a clean break from the conventions of past games in the Zelda series, where you had to follow a set path and play through the scenario in the right order. I believe this departure will create opportunities for new gameplay that have not been experienced in previous Zelda games. As you can see, and as you know from the Zelda series, the world in these games can be quite peaceful. However, it is a Zelda game after all, so strong enemies will certainly appear. Even in this setting, powerful enemies appearing in such a peaceful world is one of the defining features of the Zelda series.
I think that's one convention we can keep, right?
I'm buying that. Enough said. I mean, we're not even gonna pretend to talk about this. I'm buying that. That looks stunning. That looks beautiful. And it's open world. And it's Zelda. And I'm gonna buy that.
The Legend of Zelda was announced during E3 week for Nintendo. And it's a new open world Zelda game. And I'm not a Zelda fan, but I may actually play this one. This one looks really fun.
It looks brand new. It looks breathtaking.
This is coming from someone who's, really does not like Zelda. I don't like The Legend of Zelda. I never have. I've tried playing a couple of the games. Everything from the first to Ocarina of Time to I played a little bit of Skyward Sword. I couldn't get into any of them.
I love all the Zelda games, and this just looks beautiful.
The visuals look good. I wouldn't say they look great, but they look good. I don't think the real cartoony art style that, I don't think that was a good way to go. It's not as cartoony as like Wind Waker, but it's still sort of a...
It's like Skyward Sword, kind of.
Yeah, it's like a subpar.
The way I'm looking at it is, after Twilight Princess, that was probably their best graphics they ever had for a Zelda game, as far as I know, because I mean, I've played a lot of them. I haven't played every single one, but those look the most real. And then I thought they were taking a step back with the graphics is when Skyward Sword came out.
Yeah.
And this new one, they look like kind of in between this two, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with the graphic setting. It doesn't really bother me that much because I know what can come out of a Zelda game.
Mm-hmm.
But the way they just showed this little itty bitty trailer was very clever. They didn't show the shield, the Hylian shield that everyone loves and is used to, and they didn't show the Master Sword. All we saw was his bow, the hero's bow, which is it's usually in a Zelda game, which is also very clever because we don't know what this storyline can go. And if we see the Master Sword and we see the Hylian shield, we get an idea. Oh, you're gonna acquire the Master Sword in this game and the typical shield, but we don't know where this is gonna go in the storyline. We don't know how it's gonna go. We don't know the storyline. We don't know if there's gonna be two different bosses. Because Ganon and Ganondorf's always gonna be there.
Yeah.
But now, anything can happen. Plus, he's not even in his usual green tunic.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where the story goes, because I know the story of the other Zelda games. I'm interested to see where this one goes. The open world is what's selling me. That's definitely what's selling this game to me, is the fact that it's open world and that the world looks huge.
God.
I mean, right now, a lot of the gameplay factors is just speculation because we haven't really seen much at all of this.
Yeah. But I mean, like, you can see a house right there.
Yeah. All the mountains in the back, to the forest, everything. It looks fantastic. It really looks great.
And even he said you can even go to those mountains and see what. That's like upping the world that I'm used to, that I adore and love.
Yeah.
And then these enemies that he was talking about, really hardcore enemies, just up and everywhere, just like that.
Yeah. The new Legend of Zelda for the Wii U. Wii U's got a lot of good games coming this year. Legend of Zelda's one of them. Leave comments below. Tell us what you think of the new Legend of Zelda. Also, chime in your opinions about Hyrule Warriors.